Hello friend, welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. I have another video for you. RAV4, very cute RAV4 with relatively small mileage, sticking out so I don't get killed by the exhaust fumes. This one has only 123,918 miles and apparently has a problem. And today it came here on tow. It was just 20 minutes standing there. It was towed here because it was running so rough the person was afraid to drive it here. The owner, it's a cute young girl. Apparently she owns one of those scanners, right? She had that plugged into, and she said this vehicle is not running good. I had it diagnosed somewhere. They did nothing and they said probably the ECM is kaput. She said, I have a codes for you. I said, yeah, I don't need them, thank you. I have my own scanner. And the vehicle had two codes. P0301 misfire in cylinder 1 detected. Right? And it was the second code, and it was the same, P0301. So, having scanner there, I erased these two codes. Let's refresh. It's idling here for 5 minutes. Nothing. What's the idle? I believe, if I see correctly, roughly at 800 RPM. So before I started it to detect, right, if the spark plug might be wrong, or the wire, or the distributor, something, I switched the plug number 1 with the number 2, right? I flipped them. Well, when I got them out, I was not happy. And it's not because I'm grumpy all the time, but because I pulled some Autolite cheap or disgusting spark plugs which don't belong in this engine, right? You know that. It's either Denso or NGK, period. Don't ever cheap out on this. You want this car running good? Put the right spark plugs in it. Maybe they cost $1 or $2 more each. It's just 4 of them, right? Small engine, please do the right thing in this case. So the car was towed, right? Like it's completely broken. Oh yeah, you see a little bit of hesitation right there, right? I touched all these wires. I don't think they are shooting into each other. I don't see any sparks, which will cause that misfire number 1. So what I'm looking for, if the code will come back or not, right? I didn't remove the distributor, might be really dirty and burned tips. I'm just in very beginning observing this engine and trying to figure out why it was not running, or it was running so bad that couldn't be driven even 10 miles on the flat surfaces. There's all kinds of crazy stuff here, right? I think it has an alarm. Hopefully this is part of the alarm. It's not causing any problems. I see recent new starter. The owner loves this car. She says, yeah, low miles. I would like to keep her for a long time. So, what to do right now? Maybe test drive to try to trigger that condition of bad running and, right, the engine having a misfire on the number 1. Let's refresh again. The thing good for me and also bad for me is that it's just related to the 1 cylinder. I prefer that, right? Because it automatically tells me the electronic igniter right here. It couldn't be because it will shoot all over. Is it the coil here? No, it will be affected all cylinders, not just the number 1. And it warmed up enough, and I will show you what it does. Alright, so it kind of the whole car shakes a little bit, but look, when we will put it in the gear, right? Forward. Oh yeah, now the whole car shakes. You see that? Right? It really has a problem running, and that misfire will come very soon back. I erased that, but that will be back. And back to the cylinder number 1. And that poor thing is really leaking. I called the owner. She said, I have no idea that I have any leaks. Look at this. Coolant. And this is maybe power steering fluid. Unbelievable, right? It leaks really fast. So I don't know how she owns this for a while, this vehicle, and has no clue that this is happening. Back to our misfire. So what I did as a next step, I will just walk you through it. I couldn't film it, but I will show you exactly what I did. So I tested all these cables, or spark plug wires, for resistance, right? So I pulled it out here. Excuse me. It's just a little bit annoying here. So I pulled the number 1, right? Disconnecting it from the distributor right there, right? Let me show you actually. It's just hot, so I don't want to burn myself. So I disconnect the other side, right? Put it on my multimeter, right? Connected the ends. And the longest one, which is the number 1, had 1320 kilo ohms. Then I did the same with the number 2, that had a impedance, right, resistance, 1086 kilo ohms. Then I measured number 3, and the numbers are going down, right, as they are getting shorter and shorter. So number 3 had 1023 kilo ohms, and number 4, which is the shortest, has a smallest resistance of 0.773 kilo ohms. So I said, okay, this cable seems to be okay. I don't see any shooting. I don't hear, right? The number 1 will be maybe shooting. The insulation will be bad right here, right? I don't see this shooting somewhere in the spark plug walls, these tubes, right? That could be making the misfire, right? I didn't find anything all over here touching some metal that it will be shooting. The insulation is perfect, the resistance is good, so I actually removed again all the spark plugs, which are the bad ones, right? They're supposed to be NGK, right, or the Denso. They are Autolite APP3923. So I moved them out again, measure the compression in the cylinders. Let me read you what we had. The number 1 had 210 psi. The number 2 had 195 psi. Number 3, 220 psi. And number 4 had 185 psi. So they were within a reason, right? So I'm like, okay, good. That's a good for her. I'm like, I don't know why this is leaking, but it's hopefully not a cracked head. She has a good compression. Let's continue this diagnosis. When the engine was running, I checked that the alternator is charging the battery, and it was 14.38 volts. So it was also good. So what else is affecting directly only number 1 cylinder? Well, it's a fuel injection, right? The injectors are down there, hidden, and they're problematic to get to it. And I knew what different thing I can do before start digging down there. As I said, difficult access, right? And start testing that number 1 injector. I actually ran upstairs. I said to myself, hey, I don't care what the resistance on that cable was. I had some spare wires laying around. Of course, this was too short, right? It's super long on these ones. It's longer, like an inch longer. So I had to, take it apart a little bit. Meanwhile, I'll slightly damage it. But I was hoping, right, I had to cut this end also to make it closer to the one which you see down here. And I basically replaced that number 1 spark plug wire. So I will just leave it here, right? This will be completely disconnected. The number 1, the longest spark plug wire. This is some kind of makeshift crazy jungle bungle thing, right? So look at it. Oh, this is horrible. But guess what? That's for testing. I'm not going to let the customer leave with this. Oh yeah, it's all the way down there. I have to move this boot so I don't have some spark shooting in that spark plug wire tube. Now I have to make sure this will be not touching any steel, right? So it should be nicely sitting just somewhere where it's not going to shorten to the ground. This should help me to keep it when it's idling. So maybe I can glue it here, down here. And again, without burning myself on this cooling system here, hopefully. Oh, yep, did you see it? Did you see me, guys? You get the live diagnosis. Okay, now I'm hoping, yeah, that it will go in the distributor. What I didn't mention, I forgot. I took the distributor cap off completely. It's a 2 screws, 8 millimeters. And I clean those contacts, right? This is really always important. So I apologize for that. That was one of the other things I did. There was that white powder on these contacts as usually, right? That happens. But I just brushed it off very carefully. And let's see if this cable, this just spare something I saved from the previous repairs, I didn't throw it away. Let's see how this will change this engine's behavior. Do you like this steering wheel cover? I love it, by the way. This is incredible, isn't it? I should go on the test drives with this cover and like slowly roll by the people, because it's really visible. Oh, look at it. Look at it idle. The car is not shaking anymore like crazy. Let's put it in the gear. Look at this. Huh. Look at it. Unbelievable. This is perfect. I will back out very carefully. This car couldn't really move because there was that really serious misfire. Somebody coming? I don't want to back in that Jetta. Hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh yeah, listen. Hopefully no cops will be driving by when we are doing this crazy stuff, huh? Do you see it? Problem is fixed. I can't believe that somebody, some other small, well, she didn't say small, she said some shop around here, they looked at it, they didn't know what to replace, they didn't want to throw the parts on it. That's nice, but look at this. Yeah, it's perfectly driving, there's nothing wrong with it. So they said, oh, we think the computer needs to be replaced, it's really bad. And she was like, okay, I don't think I want to go for this. And I heard about this dude, somebody told me about this dude who does Toyotas. Look at it, look at it. Perfectly healthy engine. And of course, as I said, this was just my testing tool, right? To show me that the problem is in those wires, at least in one of them, right? And I will have to go check the prices for the parts, right? And contact the customer and tell her the good news, we found a problem, and the bad news, it will cost some little money, but it's not bad news. These things are relatively cheap. So I spent way too much time tinkering with this car, and at the end I will charge her only 1 hour, right? I spent way more. She's some young student, so I'm trying to keep it reasonable for her. I'm happy, I'm very happy. I will say I lucked out because I was going for these injectors, checking all that stuff, but then something kept telling me, hey, don't believe these resistances. And I kept pulling on that wire, and it was doing this weird stuff, right, that misfire, and I never got shocked by it, right? You will know right away. When it shocks you, you jump up in the air. So I got lucky. It's an experience from the past too, right? These wires really, they can be perfect at idle. You don't really realize that there is a problem. It will start showing itself under the load. When the engine is under the load going, it just changes and you start having these misfires. So if that happens to you on your vehicle, which has a similar design, right? We always start with the electrical problems because the fuel, the injector, it's, what shall I say, 95% of time it's electric problem, 5% maybe fuel problem, but you can share your own experience about this. It's just a guess of the hip, right? So, happy ending. I'm going to check the parts and call her immediately. It's Friday afternoon and I'm sure she wants to have it back. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I have way more from my shop coming your way soon. See you later, my friend.